Shabbat Shalom, Kahalo Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us this truth. And Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect, Tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily Update. Now, we all know, or we should know, okay, that WW3 is going to culminate or end in mutually assured destruction, nuclear fire. All right? The Most High Yahweh put a rainbow in the air to signify that he wasn't going to flood the earth with water anymore when he destroys it. This time he's going to use fire. What fire? Nuclear fire. And that's why everybody is so concerned with this so-called war that's going on in the Ukraine. So instead of going into what we already know, yeah, they're over there fighting. But what is the big scare about? War's been going on, going back to, what did they call that when Daddy Bush went over? Whatever, Saddam was drilling oil over in, I forget the little province up there in Saudi Arabia. Okay. This thing has been going on since then. All right. So, the Gulf War, if you will, when it started. And then 9/11, and then 20 years of fighting in Afghanistan. They're over there in Iraq right now. Okay. So what? And before that, there was Vietnam. We've always been at war. What's so special about this war? Well, what everybody's worried about are the nukes. All right. So we're going to show you the nukes and how this thing is going to end. And we're going to show you what it means to be saved. Because you got Christians out talking about, oh, I'm saved, I'm saved. You don't even know what it means to be saved. So we'll start there. We'll start with the saving. And then we'll show you the nukes. Saved from what? Saved from the nukes. To be saved means that you are rescued, if you will, from nuclear fire. That's what it means to be saved. So at this point, nobody is saved yet. All right? I'm saved. Saved from what? Right, this is what it means to be saved. Right? Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, who is them? These are the people that are going to be saved. Right? Who? Let's go back to the top. And there was Revelation 11 and 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. And the angel stood saying, rise and measure what? The temple of God. Who is the temple of God? Okay? The temple of God is the nation of Israel. All right? The Israelites. And then it proves that. It says, and the altar and them that worship therein, which is the 1/3. But the court which is without the temple, who's that? The Gentiles. Leave out and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. Okay? And this has two meanings. It means, in one case, it means the Israelites that are not of the 1/3, the elect. And then it means the other nations outside of the nation of Israel. And that's spiritual, and you probably won't get it, but it's not for you to get. All right? That's why the one you ignorantly call Jesus spoke in parables, because it is for you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it is not given. All right? There's a distinction. It's not for everybody to understand. All right? But we're breaking it down. Neither Jew nor Gentile. Both of those, right? Jew and Gentile in that particular passage, both of those are Israelites. Okay? You have the Gentiles that are Israelites, and then you have the Gentiles that aren't Israelites. All right? Now you're confused. All right? Anyway, and they, meaning the elect of Israel, heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, what? Come up hither. What does that mean? It's going to tell you. And they ascended up to heaven, up into the sky, in a cloud, in a spaceship. Okay? Same way that Jesus left the earth. Saying Jesus so you'll understand. They ascended up to heaven. How? In a cloud. And their enemies, who is their enemy? The Gentiles. The non-Israelite Gentiles. And the 2/3 of Israel. The wicked 2/3, all right? Okay, so this is what it means to be saved. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld. What does that mean? That means that they're not going to taste of the plagues, these missiles right here. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. What does it mean, the 10th part of the city? It means all 10 FEMA zones that are in North America. And in the earthquake, what earthquake? The earthquake that was made by all the nuclear missiles that were falling on Babylon the Great in North America. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, meaning everyone that wasn't saved. 7 means completion. Okay, so if you didn't get beamed up, Scotty, come up hither, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Okay, if you didn't get beamed up, you got burned up. Okay, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven. All right, let's get this real quick. They ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Who else ascended up to heaven in a cloud? Oh, he's talking about spaceships. You don't even know the Bible. This is Acts 1. Who else ascended up to heaven in a cloud? Acts 1 and 9. And when he had spoken these things, who is he? Who is the he being spoken of here? Okay? That would be the one you ignorantly call Jesus, right? Go to 1, let's find out. The former treaties have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Jesus, right, Yahushua, began both to do and teach. This is the subject of what is being talked about. Okay? And when he, Jesus, had spoken these things while he beheld, he, Jesus, was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What just happened? Well, that spaceship pulled up and beamed him up into the spaceship, right? A chariot. And a cloud received him out of their sight. It's the same thing we just read, right here. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Same thing. It's the same thing. Well, let's prove it once and for all. Psalm 104. Psalm 104 and 1. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord, my power, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, who laid the beams of his chamber in the waters, who maketh, God does what with the clouds? Who maketh the cloud his chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Swing low, sweet chariot, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. Background. The original song was published in Old Plantation Hymns in 1899. My nigga. It ostensibly refers to the second coming of Yahushua HaMashiach, with the she referring to the chariot that the returning Christ is depicted as driving. Okay? Bite on that one. All right? We all know what swing low is. Swing low, sweet chariot. Okay, so you're dealing with spaceships here, and we can prove it all through. How are you going to escape nuclear bombs when they start busting and burning? Okay. Well, miracles. Things that you know nothing about is a miracle. All right. Now, the point that I'm getting at, not the saving, right? Here's the saving. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in the cloud, and their enemies were dumbfounded. Okay. In the same hour was there a great earthquake. Here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these nukes that everybody is so afraid of. And the 10th part of the city fell, means all of North America was completely burned up. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. If you didn't get beamed up, you got burned up. And the remnant were affrighted and these are the ones that got beamed up, the remnant. They were sore scared that they scarcely made it, and gave glory to the power of heaven. All right? Now, let's go to Joel. We'll read a little about these nukes. All right? This is that day when that mutually assured destruction is about to happen. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong there have not been ever like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. What great people? A great people and a strong. All right? They ain't going to need nukes after this. A fire devoureth before them. Okay? What fire? Nuclear fire. This is the warhead. That's the warhead. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. This is an ICBM. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, pristine and beautiful, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. 7,000 that didn't get beamed up. This is talking about the missiles. This is talking about ICBM nuclear missiles that everybody's so afraid of. And it's written in code, but we're breaking it down, the men of the Lord, right? With all humbleness and humility. If you don't get it, keep it moving. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, horsepower, and as horsemen, so shall they run, right? They come up out of that silo, they make a couple of adjustments, then they go on their way. Like the noise of chariots on top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. This is talking about nuclear missiles. Before their face, people shall be much pained, and all faces shall gather blackness. You're going to be scared like you're scared now. Uh-oh, Vladimir, this could go nuclear. It will. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. All right? Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is going to put his spirit on the weapons of his indignation. Make sure that they all hit their targets. Right? Neither shall one thrust another. Well, we have interceptors. We have a missile shield, and this one missile will go up and explode. That ain't gonna work in that day. Why? Why is it not gonna work? Don't you know that the chariots of Israel, which are what you call the UFO, they hover around these missile silos, these nuclear sites, shut them all down? Look it up. They got control over the missiles. The angels do. The Most High does. They got control over them. You think you made those missiles for your own purposes? Why are you using them on each other? Why are you threatening each other with nuclear annihilation? Because you're the fucking devil. And you're stupid as all hell. No, the Most High put it in your mind to make them nukes so that you can destroy one another. All right? Neither shall one thrust another, right? So your missile shield is not going to work in that day. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. No missile shield is going to work, right? No interceptor is going to stop them, right? They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake, back to that great earthquake, before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. All right? Those are those missiles. Okay? We're going to show you. Let's watch a little Canadian prepper here. March 16th, that was yesterday. This guy is scared. This is crazy. The most terrifying report I've ever read. Hey, people are afraid. Why are they afraid? Because this is the end of the world as we know it. All right? Let's go get the REM video. And at the end, isn't it? That's great. It starts with an earthquake. Right? What earthquake? The great earthquake. And Lenny Bruce is scared as hell. All right?
Full missile defense systems. So even if you were able to defend against some, you could be just hitting the decoys. And there's going to be multiple warheads, which then go on trajectories to their designated places and just wreak total havoc. They can have a combined destructive yield of 50 megatons. In other words, the RS-28 Sarmat creates a destructive yield greater than 35 times that of a Minuteman III missile, okay? But if a missile dubbed Satan II marketed as a way to remove tech
Missile dubbed what? Satan?
From the map isn't massive enough, Russia also boasts another doomsday nuke, one said to match or even double the nuclear yield of the Sarmat, while bolstering its destructive capacity by creating an unnatural natural disaster of 100 megatons. 100 megatons. I believe Nagasaki was 15 kilotons. So multiply that by, what are we at here? We'll just say you give or take 10, 100, 75 times 100, about 7,500 times more powerful than the bomb that fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That is just terrifying. Now, they also have this submarine-based drone system in which I'm not going to go into great detail about this one, but you can go and research it if you want. It's the Status 6 Oceanic Multipurpose System, and basically it's a submarine that can launch these nuclear drones, which can sit dormant, virtually undetectable, and they can create massive tsunamis, like 100 megaton nuclear explosions, which would just create a radioactive tsunami, the likes of which we've never seen before. And you could put that along one of the coastal waters if they wanted to, and that would wipe out many of the cities on the West Coast. Okay, so this threat of nuclear annihilation is not something that should be taken lightly.
You hear that? You think that you have the Bible with everything that's going to happen in the world. You think that the nukes are not in there? That doesn't mean nukes.
According to this report, I'm going to post a link to the report in the description below. This was just written on March 10th, The Nuclear 9/11 in Our Future by Dr. Peter Pry. I would encourage you to go and check it out. And we will try to get him on the channel because he's incredibly knowledgeable about this stuff. And I think he's got a lot of vital information that this day and age is more meaningful now than ever before. Because remember, guys, there are high-ranking military generals around the world who are saying that we've never been this close to nuclear war.
It's coming. No one can stop it. This is the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai's movie. He showed it to his servants, the prophets.
Throughout the entire history of the Cold War, that this is a more severe crisis than what we faced with respect to the Cuban Missile Crisis, primarily because this is the Cuban Missile Crisis in reverse. Okay, and a lot of people don't know the backstory about the reasons why the Russians went in. Well, there's a lot of things. There's missile defense systems. There's the potential for nukes at their doorstep. There's NATO pushing eastward. There's a lot of factors that went into this. It wasn't just Vladimir woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm going to be the enemy of the planet.
I beg to differ. Vladimir was on the side of everybody else, and then one day he woke up, right, and said, oh, guess what? I'm going to do something different. Let's get that. All right. Here's what happened to Vlad. This is Proverbs. Here's what happened to Vlad right here. Vlad is the king. The king's heart, Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart, meaning his mind, is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Who's he? The Most High, the Lord. He's turning Vladimir's mind completely against the program. All right? Vlad went to bed one day. Went to bed. Woke up with his instructions sealed. This is Job 33 and 15. Let me see. What does 14 say? Oh, start at 15. Job 33 and 15. In a dream, when Vlad goes to sleep, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon Vlad there, in slumberings upon the bed, then he, who is he? The Most High Yahweh, openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose. Who's his? Man. From his purpose. Vlad was like this. Oh, I'm with the program. Y'all don't trip. I got this. But he went to sleep. Most High opened his ears and sealed his instruction. Oh, no, you're going to turn on everybody. Got it? Got it? And the perishing sword here, that's that nuke. Okay? We could do this all day.
That's simple. People need to take this threat seriously. I'm strongly considering, on the basis of this information, moving, to be brutally honest, because
there's nowhere you can go. Okay? There's nowhere. Everybody is going to receive their judgment. If you stay alive, which I don't know what you are, but you're slated for death because you're not listening to this word. All right? And I'm sure you've heard, but you think that prepping is going to get you out of nuclear annihilation. It's not. Those that are going to be saved, right? Let's get that. You know what? Let me see this real quick. What is this? See if I can find it. Let's go back. See if I can find it here. I'm looking for this. Let's watch this real quick. This is GMS. Get this work. March 15, chariot activity increases over conflict zone. What's going on here? The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. In the spaceships.
During the conflict in Ukraine, sightings of the UFO phenomenon multiplied, demonstrating that whenever humans have military clashes, the watchers of the universe are very attentive to what is happening. Sightings of unidentified flying objects are increasing from the area of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Images that show unusual activity in this area of our planet become clearer. The first recording was reported from Ukraine during the development of one of the bombings, in a rural area of the Slavyansk region. The shooting is quite shocking when one observes the level of destruction generated by the explosions of the Russian missiles, in a rural area of the region of Slavyansk. The shooting is quite shocking when you observe the level of destruction generated by the explosions of the Russian missiles. And the presence of this object, which remained silent in the distance a nice approach, allows us to exclude the possibility that it is a drone. This object has a discoid shape, and observe how, in the intermediate zone, it exposes a band of dark hue at certain points in the structure. We can observe a reflection which would be an indicator that it rotates on its own axis. In the same way, the movement of the propellers is not appreciated at any time, as well as the flashing lights, which are common characteristics of drones. So, without a doubt, this would be one of the proofs. The clearest reported from the conflict zone of an object, which remained silent while analyzing what happens to human beings. In the second recording, it can be seen that a family managed to register the presence of an object of considerable size, which remained static above a residential district of Moscow in Russia. In the approach, we can appreciate that this silent and mysterious object presents a discoid shape. This is not a helicopter, drone, or balloon plane. It is important to remember that the Russian military forces are on high alert, so overflights of any type of flying device. It is strictly controlled. The third recording was reported at the start of the bombardment. It was recorded overnight in this evidence. We can clearly observe a huge light, which also stood at a distance from the point where a large explosion was recorded somewhere in Ukraine. The witness tries to record the two events at the UFO and the explosion while making an approach. We can distinguish that it is an object composed of energy, which shines with great intensity. We can even observe that he directs a faint beam of light into his surroundings, as if inspecting the area in the same way. We exclude the possibility that it is a drone since it looks very different, as we pointed out in this case. The object is integrated with light, no propeller or flashing light is seen to identify it, like none of these devices based on the evidence presented. We can establish that gradually there will be more and more recordings. Testimonies from the conflict zone which would confirm once again that visitors from other worlds are carefully observing these unfortunate events which, if not controlled in time, will lead humanity to greater conflict, which could end the information integrity of the planet.
Oh, let's get this here.
Hi, my name is
Outside the nearby B-52 hangars, Sergeants Eichner and Jones are oblivious to the latest security breach.
Jones, you want to get me to 3/8?
Sure thing. Coming up.
Sergeant Eichner and Sergeant Jones are B-52 mechanics.
The B-52 is a bomber. Okay. They drop bombs and nukes. What was the Enola Gay?
They're doing their work on the base.
Hey, Eichner, get out here. You're going to want to check this out.
What is it?
I don't know.
Eichner and Jones, now the fifth and sixth witness in the strange sighting, follow the light as it once again circles the base.
Control tower to base commander. The object is back, sir, near the hangars. Sir, it looks like it may have landed.
The object leads Eichner and Jones to an off-limit restricted area.
You sure about this?
They think, well, maybe we ought to get out of here because we're not supposed to be in this specific area.
Suddenly, they see the object directly in front of them.
Eichner and Jones hear the security police and decide to exit the restricted area as quickly as possible. But right now, the last thing on Lewis's mind is Eichner and Jones.
The lights go out, the object disappears again.
It appears to be heading north, sir. Now it's left our airspace, sir.
The object heads back again towards the northeast, towards the Canadian border. And disappears off radar, very similar to what happened the night before. The MPs continue to search the base, to make sure no one has physically landed on the base. This is the one case where the United States government admitted that some unknown aircraft penetrated U.S. nuclear facilities, and they were not able to determine either where they came from or whose.
It's not what I'm looking for. I want the one where they shut it down. How about this?
Ask your doctor about.
Bear with me, because you got to know about these things. All right? Be not ignorant of anything large or small. Paraphrasing. Watch this one.
It happens in 1967 at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. Nick is on his way to meet a key witness to the event. Robert Salas served 7 years in the Air Force, rising to the rank of captain.
So tell me what happened.
March 24th, 1967, I and my commander, Fred Mywall, were on duty at Roy, Montana.
Now, this is dealing with nukes, the control of nukes, and so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of Israel, by the way, and the angels are in them, controlling shit.
The men are stationed in the missile launch bunker, 60 feet below ground.
We had control of 10 nuclear missiles. The Minuteman I. Each missile had an 800 kiloton nuclear weapon.
If ordered, it's Salas's job to launch the warheads.
I was on alert status. In other words, my commander, Fred, was taking a little nap break. Sometime in the early morning hours, I get a call.
On the other end of the phone is a terrified guard stationed above the bunker.
He's screaming into the phone. He's yelling, "Sir, I'm looking out the front gate. I see this glowing red object."
The strange red object is moving like nothing the guards have ever seen before.
Is moving like nothing the guards have ever seen before. Is moving like a UFO.
The strange red object is moving like nothing the guards have ever seen before.
They were flying very fast across the sky, stopping on a dime, reversing course, making 90-degree angle turns, making no noise. These guys were very, very frightened. It was a critical situation.
As fear spreads above ground, things are about to get even more terrifying below.
I need you to wake up. I've got the wheel.
Salas wakes his commander and tells him the guard's report of a UFO above the base. Suddenly, the unthinkable happens.
The lights turned from green to red. In other words, red meaning unlaunchable.
Everything went red.
All 10 missiles were disabled, every single one of them.
So what does that mean?
It means if we were given the order and if we had to go through our launch procedures, they couldn't be launched.
All right? We don't have to watch anymore. You can say what the hell you want, but the men of the Lord, we know what the hell is going on. All right? So those nukes are being controlled by who? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. He created them so that you can destroy yourselves. All right? Before we get to this, let's show you the nukes right here. It's Jeremiah. It's Zach. 14. Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. All right? Now we'll watch Terminator. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. What? What day? Judgment Day. Remaster Sarah Connor's dream of apocalypse. Nuclear bombs destroy the world. Why would they make this? Their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Their flesh will consume away while they stand upon their feet. Why would they make a movie like this? What do they know that you don't know? Apparently they know something. And the Mushroom Club. Blast. Here's the fire. Nuclear fire. Let's read that again. And this shall be the what? Plague. Zechariah 14 and 12. This, what? This shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite, kill all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away, and their holes in their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. The what? The plague. How do you escape the plagues? How do you escape the plagues? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, so lucky, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, who are his people, the elect of Israel, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. How do you come out of her, my people? You get beamed up onto a spaceship. This is what it means to be saved from what? The plagues, the nuclear missiles. Got it? Now we'll go back to where we started. Come out of her, my people. Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a voice, they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come out of her, my people. Come out of what? Out of Babylon. Come up hither. Where's up hither? And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. That same cloud that was disabling shit right here. That cloud. And that's just what it is. Let's finish it. Come up hither, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. That's what it means to be saved. Saved from what? The nuclear annihilation. And their enemies beheld them. Our enemies are going to die in the fire. And the same hour was there a great earthquake. What earthquake? You're going to die on your feet. You're going to get burned up. And the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. Everybody that wasn't saved. And the remnant were affrighted, and they gave glory to the power of heaven. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect were edified. And with that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.